Hello, my name is Joanna Sanchez, and I'll be discussing the ethical dilemma the right to self determination versus the right of the unborn child. The first question to discuss is: should we uphold the rights of the pregnant woman to exercise her right to self determination and therefore her right to abuse substances such as alcohol, drugs, or the right of the future child to be born free of harm? The book Should Parents Be Licensed contains an entire chapter highlighting the pros and cons of this dilemma. First, we'll discuss the arguments in favor. There are three types of supporting arguments that justify the intervention of government to prevent an unborn child to be harmed. The first argument is a consequentialist argument. Overall, preventing certain types of prenatal damage creates more good than harm. The second type of argument involves the rights of the future child. A child has the right to begin life with a sound mind and body, the general right not to be harmed, a right that is enforceable as to conduct occurring before birth. The last argument states that a pregnant woman should meet certain standards. A pregnant woman is obligated to meet standards for care and the well-being of her future child, even if the child has no corresponding rights to such care, and that this obligation should be endorsed by the state. Alcohol and drug use by pregnant women is known as maternal substance use disorder, SUD. It is a serious problem with long-lasting effects and consequences for a child's social, emotional, and cognitive development. It is important to estimate the full extent of the consequences of maternal SUD and to determine the specific hazards of a particular drug to the unborn child. So here are some examples. The use of alcohol during pregnancy can cause physical deformities, heart defects, mental retardation, and lifelong physical and behavioral problems. There is no safe amount of alcohol a woman can drink while she is pregnant. Next, we have smoking. Cigarette smoking passes nicotine and other dangerous chemicals to the baby. Smoking also increases the risk of a premature birth or stillbirth. There's also the prescription medication. So drugs and other narcotics that are used during pregnancy can cause serious withdrawal symptoms in newborn babies. So let's dip a little more into these positive arguments. So there are good moral and prudential reasons for trying to prevent harms. First is utility. Utility means that there will be more good than harm. This means that the side we chose will benefit more people. Second, we have the future person's positive right to receive medical care and his negative right not to be harmed. So the right not to be harmed is widely accepted in society because it serves as a foundation for moral and legal codes. Third, we have the pregnant woman's general obligations to refrain from harming another. This is due to society having stereotypes and expectations. So when it comes to a pregnant woman, people claim that she should have certain obligations to her future child. These obligations can also be against her will. For example, she decides to drink alcohol, but society suggests that she will not do that because it will harm the baby. So many times society already has a standard set up for a pregnant woman. Now let's take a look at the arguments against. The main goal of state intervention with pregnant women is the prevention of harm to their future children. But by doing this, we may discriminate unfairly against pregnant women. The interest on the welfare of a child might mask a more controversial attitude towards the place of a woman in society, as well as the pregnant woman's right of liberty and privacy will be affected. Now, let's discuss the following questions. Who should make the decision? The pregnant woman, the courts, the human services workers, or someone else? Is it possible to uphold the rights of the pregnant woman and the unborn child? In his chapter, Arguments for and Against, Matthew discusses that a woman's fundamental rights of bodily integrity and private decision making should not be subordinated to the welfare of someone else. He also mentions that requiring pregnant women to behave certain ways will cause them to not want to meet their physicians, increasing the number of abortions. There's also the limitations on the activity of a woman will lead to unjust limitations, for example, unfairly discrimination. What policy initiatives and human services interventions already exist? In our country, all 50 states require by law that many professionals, such as pediatricians, emergency room physicians, teachers, social workers, among others, report suspected child abuse cases to state authorities. This also involves unborn children. The U.S. Preventive Services Task Force recommends screening for unhealthy alcohol use. So, this recommendation includes screening for pregnant women. Also, when prescribing medicine, so doctors and nurses have to ask the patient whether she's pregnant or planning on getting pregnant. Many of the medicine that prescribed will not be healthy for a baby, for an unborn baby. So if a patient is pregnant, the doctor will change the medication, will prescribe a different medicine. There's also the warnings and labels of each product informing the effects on pregnancy. Here we have a picture of a restaurant. It's a warning saying that drinking while being pregnant can have side effects. Also, there's more labels like this, like warning labels in, for example, a bottle of alcohol or a pack of cigarettes will have a warning saying not up to pregnancy or woman breastfeeding. Can you think of any other initiative or intervention we can have to address this issue? I suggest the administration of screening instruments, so alcohol and drug screening and short counseling, so that the healthcare provider may assess if a pregnant woman is using drugs or alcohol. So which side do I pick? I agree the state should intervene as long as it is confirmed the woman is now in her early stages of pregnancy and it's clear she intends to bring the pregnancy to term. I agree that even though a pregnant woman has moral obligations to act in the interest of her future child throughout her pregnancy, there are competing reasons against legally requiring her to meet certain standards before it's clear that she intends to bring the pregnancy to term. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed learning about the ethical dilemma requiring a pregnant woman to act in the interest of her future child.